Okay, well, welcome everybody. We are back for a continuation of our workshop for the Board of County Commissioners this evening. And with us, we have the Board of SHS and the Board of MCHD. I can start down at to my left and have you introduce yourselves all the way to the other end, and then we'll get started.
Okay, so I'll just start open our meeting for MCHD and take roll.
Brandon Johnson.
Here.
Orly Lucero is excused. Bill Thompson is excused. Sean Flaherty is excused. Gayla Pock. Bob Orr. Robert Dobry, I'm here.
Thanks. Does that work?
Okay, and then SHS, Shirley, I'll let you take it away.
Do you have to do something?
Just push the button until you see red on the mic.
Okay. Shirley
Jones, SHS.
Okay.
Susan Hodgson, SHS.
Sean Calloy, SHS.
Dan Valverde, SHS.
Well, again, welcome. Again, this is just kind of a continuation of our workshop that we held a few weeks ago. Not absolutely sure if it was a few weeks ago, but recently. So I'd like to start with SHS. I know that we have our new CEO. Myself and Travis did have the opportunity to meet with him and talk to him last week. So just kind of an update, if you guys would give us an update of kind of where you think you are and how you're doing on your board members and some of the things that we had talked about from the last time.
So, love having Joe on board. He's working hard on recruiting, especially FMOB, Family Medicine, and have a certificate in OB so they can do C-sections and help with our shortage for the birthing department. Sean has been working hard. We've created a nominating committee with the help of Friends of the Hospital group and different sections of the hospital are having representatives, and the board applications will go to them. They'll make recommendation to the full board. Right now, SHS has 3 members on that committee, so that's basically these 3. Yes, yes. And then we have a community member. Lisa is for the nurses.
Right, so we have 3 members from SHS, 1 from MCHD, that's Brandon. Actually get the last name, I guess, first. 1 from hospital admin, that's going to be Mark Meyer from pharmacy. 1 from med staff, that'll be Dr. Mullen.
Okay.
1 nurse, that'll be Henry Crane. 1 from the foundation, that'll be Abby Witzel.
Yeah.
And 1 from general public is nominated by folks from Friends of Hospital and confirmed by us. It's going to be Mary Dodd.
Okay.
So it's 9 in total. It'll give us a much better, well, actually it gives us better reach to find candidates. And then pretty good scope on having people. I mean, we haven't had the luxury of multiple applicants in a long time. So we're going to meet next week. Actually, I'm going to send out an email after this meeting to all those people, because we just got the last one named yesterday. And we'll probably meet Tuesday night if everybody's agreeable and get started on setting a schedule and process. We have 3 open seats.
Yes.
Correct.
And we had multiple applications. And so this committee will screen the applications and send them on to the full board.
So do you have kind of a timeline? I know you said you were gonna set a schedule, but do you really have kind of an anticipation of a timeline? Because, to get an actual full functioning board would seem like one of the most critical, concerns
Right.
from our last meeting. Is that
I'd
this
I'd like to
year?
see us present the candidates by the next, not this board meeting next week, but the October board.
I was hoping
No,
to have
that-
it by
we're
the
not-
next
meeting.
meeting.
We haven't even,
I know.
we haven't even formed, much less stormed.
So
or-
30 days,
Mm-hmm.
basically, is what
Right,
you're.
we're gonna have to talk to these folks and have to work with their schedules. And I think it's gonna take a couple weeks just to fit everybody in.
Okay.
I think
So
there's a total of
it's-
6 that have submitted some materials. And I think one of them's dropped out, but we, yeah, I think 5 or 6. Since we started receiving applications a couple months ago, people's interests may have changed in the meantime, so.
Okay.
So, new process, trying to get it up and running. I guess those are the two big things, Joe's recruiting and the nominating committee. And then we did meet with the bank syndicate and went over our finances with them. They seemed very happy that we were working on getting our expenses down and our revenue up. We're still committed to the 80 days cash on hand, but they acted like that they were willing to let that drop below the 80 days if it was for capital improvement projects, which the hospital, we really need to do some maintenance work. And us re-amortizing our note allows us to reduce our payment to 160, and then the balance of what we would normally be paying will go into a capital improvement fund. And then we have like 10 listed projects that are in need. We just picked out 10. We're working on, what is it? Yeah, these two know. The glycol feeder, trying to get the process. So I guess the process will be when we have enough money in that fund to fund some of these projects, we will fill out forms, forward it to the bank, then they will release the funding for the different projects. And so they started with one that really needs to be done, but it's smaller. I think it's going to end up being around $7,000. Right. And so we want to get that one done as soon as possible.
So there is a joint facilities committee. They'll make recommendations to both boards. Both boards have to endorse them, and then we can proceed.
Okay.
And
We're in
so-
pretty close alignment on the facility stuff.
So it sounds like then the boards are working well
Yeah.
together, kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
we at least have that avenue of communication open right now?
And just to give you a little more information on the reamortization, so it has taken effect September 1st, I believe, was when it
Right.
actually took effect. So our, the sales tax from, I guess it's actually August sales tax, but this month, what came in this month, sales tax is the first sales tax that's going into that account. So that was about $199,000. So the first 160 of that will cover the bond piece, and then the balance of that, so just under $40,000 will go into that reserve account, as well as $165,000 from SHS. Is that
SHS,
correct?
yes,
Yeah.
our portion of the payment.
Yeah, so their portion every month will be $165,000, no matter what happens with sales tax, and that'll go into that bond account as well. And then also, as part of that reamortization, it freed up about $500,000 from the original bond issue that is already now in that account. So So we should get, it should be almost $700,000 in that count after this month with all three of those things. And then as long as the sales tax meets the full bond amount, then every month SHS's full payment will go into that reserve account as well. So we should be able to, it's sort of a quick savings plan to really get some money into that account that we can hopefully use for matches for some grants. And we're looking for kind of money anywhere to meet these specific capital projects.
And so the reamortization will end in 42 months, and we'll go back to our original payments, and hopefully we'll have the capital improvement projects knocked out and have that fund built up somewhat.
So one of them was a pretty big ticket item, right? The roof was
The
the
roofs?
1.2, $1.3 million. I'm just going off of memory now.
Yes, huge.
But that was a big ticket item, I think, from our last discussion. So that'll be able
And
to.
that's number one on the list of 10.
Okay.
That's kind of the most urgent of
One
the-
out of
the
one out of the
list.
10.
Yeah.
So what about the glycol system? Is that just for the heat system right now? Is that what you guys are using, the glycol? What,
So what that does is they put the glycol in the pipes that run,
Mm-hmm.
right now they're running water on top of the roof. Everything's on top of the roof.
right, so it's part of the heat
So if
system?
something happens and it shuts down and it's 0 degrees, they freeze and break.
Absolutely.
So I figured it'd be best, small project, work through the process, and, so we can get the logistics done before we do these big ticketed items, and it's a much needed deal. So right now, they do have glycol in the system, but they have to put a gallon in at a time and take a gallon out. So man hours alone, that's one person doing this and it holds 1,000 gallons. So you do the math.
So that's 500 gallons of glycol.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So you figure you do the math on the labor there, you just get a system that
Yeah.
does it and,
One at a time is free stuff.
yeah, long time. So, plus error and all that stuff. So that's why
Ha-
we chose to do that.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
and mind you, when she talked about the facilities account, they get to count that on their days on hand too, since it's housed over there.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay,
Keep
so
going.
that,
So our date, including that extra 500,000, what did she say? I slept since last week. It was right at 80 or a little above our days cash on hand.
82.
Huh?
82.
Thank you.
well, that's encouraging. 82,
Right.
if you're able to put that there as that contribution, that's,
Well,
good.
and so what that does for us, we're not going to be able to spend any of that because it needs to be for that capital improvement. But what that does is it keeps us from going into default on the terms of the loan. So, and they did some other recalculation that,
Yeah, the other recalculation they did is in the past, they had, the way they were calculating what a day's cash, or a days of cash was a 12-month rolling average. And what the other thing the banks allowed them to do was shrink that down to a 3-month rolling average. So that provides some benefit there as well.
I just need to know that we're 80 days cash on hand and we're not in default. So, there we go.
And the
Okay.
covenant is 3 quarters or 4 quarters?
Two consecutive quarters.
Consecutive quarters would be,
If we were below 80 days cash on hand for 2 consecutive quarters, then that would put us into default. We were below 80 days cash on hand at the end of June. But now that we get to count this other cash, we'll be above the 80 the end of September, so we're still good.
okay. So you mentioned, one of the, I guess one of the things that Joe is working on is the recruitment. What's the outlook on that? You guys have any idea of, and you may not be able to answer it, I'm just asking a question, and if you can't answer it, I understand that, but what is that outlook for recruitment as far as trying to fill some of the positions that are vacant?
They currently have one person that's interviewing for the FMOB, or F, whatever it is. Anyways, they're having her come in and tour the hospital, and her spouse is touring the area. And Joe has come up with kind of a holistic, try to see what our community has to offer. And while she's touring the hospital, he will be doing a side-by-side tour and looking at real estate. And then they will have a dinner hosted by the Dimbies and catered by Karen Sheik. And anyways, it sounds like a good idea to me, kind of showing the very positive that we have for the community. So this is our first one that gets the whole show.
The
So.
whole show. All
And
right.
other than that one, I don't know of any other, but I do know that they've, are trying very hard. And he let the banks know that we wouldn't be fully staffed, you know, the way we're doing for a couple of years, because they're trying to get people coming right out of nursing school to come to the area. And so they've got feelers into the different programs, and it'll take a while for them to graduate, and so, but it sounds like he's got a good plan to me.
And you probably noticed, talking to Joe, that he brings a lot of energy, and he's engaged not just the recruiting, but he's engaged the medical staff to reach back into their networks and their alumni associations, that kind of thing. And as Shirley said, working with nursing schools, really trying to broaden our reach beyond just using recruiters. That's typically where better candidates seem to come from, too.
Okay.
So,
How's OB doing? Is it, I can't see it making money.
it's not, we had higher birth rates in July, I guess, but, yeah, I can't see it either. We have our finance committee Thursday morning. Everything that we have is from the end of July. So, like I said, our birth numbers were up. Dr. Kaplan had her baby, so she's out on maternity leave. Our family practice docs are taking call for PEDS call and trying to tough it out until we get some of these other doctors on board. And Joe's really working with everybody that we have on staff to make things work.
Do you
And
know
you see,
what your monthly break-even number is for OB?
I've asked that,
Asked that question, and it's questionable whether it's really ever feasible to break even on OB alone.
Okay.
Even if we recaptured, we were talking about if we could recapture 50% of the folks who travel to Durango to deliver, that still wouldn't necessarily make it up. I mean, unfortunately, labor and delivery is a loser in many places. It's expensive to run. The reimbursements don't necessarily cover it, but it's an essential service to the community, so you have to make it up elsewhere in the hospital.
and so
Yeah.
our big area that we can get the docs in that can also do family medicine instead of just strictly OBs, you're paying them higher because they're a specialty and they don't see your normal family practice. So we need to try to get more of that kind of provider into our hospital that can do both.
and that's why the focus on the FMOB, family medicine.
Yeah.
OB.
Family medicine with an OB tag?
Yep, so they can do, well, you know, we need family practice docs, and then they can help cover the OB call because they'll have some certificate certified to do C-sections.
So
Okay.
what are you going to do with the 2 OB doctors now? You're gonna need to get rid of one, you want, once Dr. Kaplan comes back from maternity leave.
Well, we're not there yet. So I think Kaplan's taken until the end of December. And I do not know the plans that Joe has, but I'm leaving it up to him. So,
Okay.
There's been no discussion.
yeah, I mean, we would just go with what they tell us.
See what the recommendations are and then
Right.
go on from there. And Ms. Puck, I'm going to ask you if you pull that mic and turn it on when you speak.
Oh, sorry about that. Next time I will.
Because it is, and it's also recorded too, so that, to
Yeah.
make sure that we get you on
Sorry
film.
about that.
That's okay. And again, to everybody, if you can just pull those to you when you speak, just a reminder. We're used to it, but everybody on that side is probably not used to it. So, okay, MCHD, give us your quick,
The biggest update that we had was around the reamortization, which is taking financial pressure off of SHS. The one thing that none of us had mentioned was that in that meeting with the banks, we did have a discussion about lowering the days cash on hand requirement to a number that we don't know yet, at least I don't have for a public meeting. So, but I think that discussion is ongoing with the CFO of SHS as well as with the bank to figure out what an appropriate number based on kind of peer hospitals. I think the banks recognize that 80 days is high, so they're willing to lower it, and it's just a matter of kind of deciding what that number is, and then I think I'm sure there's going to be a process. I don't know. I would guess that both of our boards would have to agree to it, and it's possible because it relates to the bond that you guys would have to agree to it as well. But,
It would
yeah,
have to come to you.
yeah.
right?
But that's in motion, and then we're moving forward with projects as we see them.
Okay.
We,
So,
I'm
your
sorry.
list of 10 projects, obviously, it sounds like the roof is number one, the big one. The glycol was a small one, but an easy one to try and get the ball moving and rolling, and kind of a good project to start with.
We're also going out to the bidders the one bidder that we're attracted, that we had 2 bids on the roof project in total. We're going back out to see if it would be possible. Right now, and that would cover all 3 chunks of the hospital, and we're looking at breaking that into smaller projects that might allow us, because of our using that account, we won't necessarily have 1.5 million for some time. If we can break it into smaller pieces, we may be able to get a piece of, the most important one, which I can't remember which one it is, Brandon.
So it'd be the main building of the 77 roof, the old hospital, that need to get done. And then on that, we looked at maybe if we was able to split in 3 chunks, less money, maybe they would finance too. And I think they'd financed to 90,000, is that what it was, or something like
Yeah,
that?
but
I think we hadn't gotten anything firm
So,
back.
anyway, we was looking at different avenues because we got little money right now. But if not, we'll just have to wait.
You having trouble getting bidders?
I have
Not
a really
really.
attractive bid that's in there.
We got a real good one,
Being
so
offered
I
a
don't
20-year
know.
warranty.
Yeah, 20-year warranty, you can't,
Yeah.
that's what I want, is the 20-year warranty.
Instead of the 2 years we had on the,
well, and just a little bit of that bid, they was going to, as they peel it off, part of that, so it includes labor, materials, everything on this bid we have. And when they peel it back, it included, if there was like anything underneath, they'd steam it off to make sure everything's good and that was still included in that bid. But if they had to continue on, that's a different bid. But
Right.
just to give you an idea, I can't talk too much about it.
Well, I understand.
All right.
And then the only other thing I wanted to mention is we did update our website and our minutes, bylaws, all of our articles of incorporation. What else was there? Agendas, minutes, agendas. There's something else, though. Financials. Yeah. And so, yes, our website got updated. So, got that done too.
Good. I think that was one of the.
Website, we're on there too, so ours keeps updating just with theirs. It's all on the same page
Good.
of the main SHS page.
Yeah, you can click on the two different boards and see who's on it.
I'm gonna pull it up here real quick just to see. Commissioners, do you have any other questions right now?
Not right now, I don't.
I'm gonna look through my notes here. Okay, I think we've hit all the highlights. Do you have any other questions?
One more little comment. Hospital Foundation is looking for volunteers from the public to be on that foundation board. So,
Yeah.
spread the word.
I mean, if you want to get involved in your community, now's the time, because there's a lot of open seats across every spectrum in Montezuma County.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And I had a suggestion from a person. Your board consider putting, and I hate to put this out there, but one representative from county government, one from municipal government, and one at large was put out there. So, but that's for you guys to decide.
I guess there's no issue with that, other than in our bylaws, you can't have more than two, I don't think. Can't have more than two government reps, I believe, if I recall correctly. I'd have to take a look again. Yeah, if anybody is interested, and you have all that time.
We would
Yeah, we'll welcome
welcome any of the three of you.
So I guess it wouldn't be like part of their, it's not a paid position, so it would need to be volunteered in addition to.
Yeah, I think that was, I think pretty much presented right there in the first words out of Brandon's mouth is we have a volunteer position, so for the public and anybody else. I think because of the way we sit and have to make a final decision with you all, I don't think that
I
don't think that
because
we
I have
could
three,
possibly at all.
2 sons and a daughter that
Yeah.
work out there. I think that would be a good conflict of interest.
Well, that would go with our bylaws without a change. We could take somebody, because right now, we're full up on people from the SHS that work for the hospital. I represent MCHD.
On the foundation
On
board.
the foundation, yes. But it's the general public positions that are open.
Yeah.
And that could easily be a commissioner, a Cortez city councilor, anybody else, a firefighter, who knows?
So when's your deadline for applications? Maybe that would give us the- come and gone?
We haven't established one. There's no, it's, the annual meeting is January. So the regular openings would be December.
Don't we vote in December?
Yes.
Maybe it's December.
I think we vote in December and their first meeting would be January.
Yeah, but no, that's
So we would-
not the foundation.
No.
That's
Right.
SHS.
And we need to publish since it's been, since we've not had a flood of applicants in anyone's memory, this hasn't been very formal. It's been, when there's an opening, if anybody showed up, they'd be judged on their merits individually. I think I'm the last dope who showed up. So now we're trying to be more
Have a
formal about
system,
it.
yeah.
System, and make it a system, and publish that so that there is a deadline in November or December for, well, I guess it would have to be November, for the regular openings, if there are any. I don't believe there are any. I don't believe any of the terms are expiring this year, although you keep saying you want yours to.
Not this year.
But on a recurring basis, we need to do that, to get that schedule set so that people know. And then when there's openings that occur, like these three, we fill them as they arise. But we probably should get in the habit of publishing that and setting a date and making the schedule more rigorous. And that's the kind of thing we're going to, in the nominating committee, we'll be talking about setting that process, setting the timelines, and doing it more rigorously.
All right, good deal. Commissioner Copeland, anything else? Okay, well, if you guys don't have anything else, that was a quick and short
Yeah.
meeting. It sounds like everybody's working together, which is very positive and appreciated. And hopefully we can get things squared away and running 100% smoothly again.
So we need to reschedule if we're going to do so, and then I need to adjourn my meeting.
Okay, so the days or evenings work better for you all? What's your pleasure?
To have another one.
Another quarter,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
next quarter?
Yeah, we could do it
Okay.
quarterly and just basically a time.
Evenings are better for me.
Okay.
Takes me an hour to drive
December
from Durango.
25th.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter to us. Like I said, we can do it in the evenings, we can do it in the day. It doesn't, for us, it doesn't matter. So if evenings, 6 o'clock, is that good for everybody? 6 p.m.?
Yeah, I was just going to recommend maybe January instead of December because
Oh,
I think
good idea.
a lot of people will be not around and things at certain
Okay.
times in
That's fine.
December, so.
So do you have a date that works better than not?
Not the first part of January. The middle of the month. Do you have your calendar? I can-
15th? Middle of the month, 15th, is a
Sure.
Monday? Does that work for everybody?
How are you on that?
Monday, the 15th?
Oh, that's Martin
January the
Luther King
15th?
Day.
That's quarterly
2024.
estimate day.
Hopefully we can get here. It'll be too much snow to get here.
Yeah.
22nd, that's also,
Yeah, I think that would be fine, January 22nd at 6.
Yeah. Monday, the 22nd.
okay.
And I'll make a motion to adjourn the MCHD meeting.
Second? You second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, thank you all, appreciate it, and
Yes.
we'll see you in January.
Good to see you all. Thanks for coming.
Thanks
You
for
can just-
having us.
You can just leave all those mics out, there's another meeting starting here shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the room's not done with yet tonight.